confused about dates around here. Who needs to
No,
label
not at
things?
all.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the first Glimesh team meeting of the new year. Woo! Woo! Wow, there's so many people are cheering in Discord right now. It's phenomenal.
We're supposed
I
to
was
be
cheering
muted.
so hard my mic actually cut out and didn't pick it up.
Let's see those 2021s in chat if you got them. If you don't have them, then that's tough.
So like most of our user base not having them.
There we go. That feels good. All right. Welcome everyone to our team meeting. Thanks for joining us tonight. We do this every week. It's kind of a way for us to give updates to the community, to the world, and then also give you a time for any kind of questions and answers you have, and make sure we're available, approachable, and readily usable. What we normally do is we talk about weekly metrics. We talk about wins, challenges, and roadmap updates. And then we will publish this video and the minutes of this meeting afterwards. But here's a reminder, if you decide to talk in chat, or if you decide to talk in our Discord or for voice, your voice and or chat message will be broadcast to the internet and recorded for a YouTube video. If you don't consent to that, don't do either of those things.
Like that guy.
Yeah. I'm going to try tonight to pronounce Haywa's name correctly. But no promises. So
you did it right.
You're 1 for 1.
Did you hear me think about it for like 10 seconds before I said it?
I heard the gears turning.
I was literally in my mind rehearsing what Paco said last time. Okay, hey ya, hey wa. This isn't Paco's voice.
Clone smoke detectors are.
All right. Anyways,
Amazing.
so we had a good last week as far as metrics go. Wow, a period got in here. What the heck? From a user perspective, we are very, very close to 10,000, which is going to be a huge milestone. Right now, we're at about 9,803. That's an uptick of 585 new users from last week. And then on Discord, we grew about 115. Twitter has some modest growth at 129. Reddit 6, Instagram 12, Facebook 5, and 3 new applications that are being built. And then the one other thing I wanted to share is we are now asking users whenever they register if they want to subscribe to the Glimesh mailing list. So if you haven't seen that yet, whenever you click register now, you have this little checkbox, and it's off by default. So you have to manually turn it on if you want it. And we, in the last week, we have, let's see, maybe not the last week, maybe the last couple of days, we've got 200 people that subscribe to that. So of the, I think, slightly less than this users, probably of the 300 users that registered, 200 of them subscribe to our mailing list. So that's pretty cool. Not that we have anything to mail yet, but hopefully in the future, as we launch new phases, we'll be able to use that. Yeah, if you've already signed up and registered, we're going to send you a reminder once we update. Basically, when we go live, we're going to send a terms of service, privacy policy, and account update, and that will include information about how to manage your subscriptions on Glimesh. But in the meantime, if you go here to Glimesh, and you click on notifications, you can opt into Glimesh newsletters. By default, you are opted into live channel emails, but you have to manually subscribe to channels individually, so you don't get any emails by default. All right, so that's some good news, and then. One other interesting thing I wanted to share, I was looking at this the other day. Apparently we just hit our 300th timeout / ban on the service, which is interesting because, there's no real streams yet. So I'm not sure who's banning who from what chat and why, but people are using it. All right, let's jump into wins. So last week we had a lot of good stuff happening. But the first thing I want to mention is we actually have a brand new footer that was designed by one of our new volunteers, Ramirez, and you can see it here at the bottom. It looks a lot better. It fits our themes better. It works even in light mode really well. And sorry, let me go back real quick before I. There we go. And then it's responsive too, so it adjusts to whatever the page is. So that's super awesome. That was a great contribution. Code and all, we didn't have to do anything, and it's really neat code. So thank you for that. And then the next thing I wanted to mention was we're working on closing the 2020 fiscal year for Glimesh, and as we are an open company, that means that our documents are open and our finances are also open. This hasn't really been anything yet because there's not many finances to work with, but as we grow, as we build a company here, it's going to become more and more relevant. So these are still early; these are not finalized, but this will be a public record of our finances, not only for like a yearly close, but then also month to month as we're going. So at the end of January here, we'll post a new one of these, and you'll be able to review it at any time and see how Glimesh is running, how profitable we are, where we're spending our money. Lots of stuff like that. And if you don't understand this, get out of here. If you don't understand this, feel free to ask. But it's just pretty standard stuff. We're still working on some of these categorizations. Like I said, it's still not finished, but for now it'll work. Just so you know, though, none of your personal information is being shared here. Whenever we do, whenever we do payouts for subscribers, we won't show the individuals and their payments. It'll be the sum of the platform. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll let everyone know when it's finalized. All right, and then Hayden, do you want to talk about FTL?
We're basically just doing some polishing work on it now, making it more robust. So we started doing a bunch of refactoring to make it more easily testable, which means that instead of pushing to production and finding problems there, hopefully we will have a set of comprehensive tests where we can find issues before then.
Right.
So there's a bunch of polish work and robustness stuff now.
Right, and especially as we continue to add new development and new contributors to it, we want to make sure we don't regress and cause any bugs that we have already fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right, and then the next thing, I don't know, Paco, do you want to talk about this? Or maybe Paco? The BizDev outreach team?
Yes. So we have recently created a small outreach team. But we literally just started it yesterday. We're in the process of getting it together right now. We are going to be in charge of sourcing and securing partnerships with different companies for Glimesh. So we will be reaching out to these companies. Well, first we will be vetting these companies. We want to make sure that we are working with people whose thoughts and ideals and values align with Glimesh's. So once we decide somebody would be a good person to partner with, we'll be reaching out to them, seeing what we can offer them, what they can offer us, and hopefully that'll bring some awesome stuff to the platform and maybe open up some possibilities for people as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good point. And I think it's especially important to mention that, we really do want to make sure that we're forming good bonds with these companies, and that they're companies that we would use, people that we trust, because there's a lot of companies that aren't so good out there. All right, cool. And then the next thing is we did actually launch stream started emails. I keep calling them different things. I don't know why I do that. What's the actual word for it? I'm calling them live channel emails. So we launched live channel emails. The way this works is anytime a channel that you choose goes live, you'll be able to get an email notification. So let me show you here. if you're on the stream here, there's a little bell right here. If you click that, well, by default it's this. If you click this, that opts you into live notifications whenever the streamer goes live. So you'll be able to pick it by default. It is not checked by default. And then whenever they go live, you get a notification. Of course, in the future, we may venture into more than just email. You'd be able to do browsers and all that kind of stuff. And then it'd notify you immediately. And then Steve's making a joke, I think, but one of the things that we want to be careful of is we don't want to incentivize clicking this button, because what we really want to actually build here is true engagement. So I'm not going to click this for a majority of the streamers that I follow, but that one streamer that I always want to watch, I always want to know when they're live, that's when I want to click it. And so trying to convince people to just come and follow and click that button, we don't want to incentivize that, because we don't want to reward essentially what becomes an email spam folder that you have set up for Glimesh. We want it to be valuable and meaningful. And then once you do get the email, it looks like this. Now, of course, we have to do a little bit of work to make this the actual thumbnail. So it needs to be, whatever the stream is showing. And there may actually be a way to make this show whatever the stream is showing at the time, which would be really, really neat. That won't work with all email clients, but we'll potentially look into that. So then you can click this and that'll take you to the stream. All right, so that's a cool launch. And then the next thing is we actually, over the past 2 days, we've been rolling out brand new infrastructure. So before this, we were hosted on my personal account on DigitalOcean. And now it's time to grow up. We need to move off of that. So we moved off of the personal account and we set up some new website scaling architecture. This is a very simple diagram, but really what it's showing here is that now users, whenever they come look at the website, they're actually taken through a load balancer and then distributed to different web nodes. So now, we have horizontal scaling in place. So if, we have 10,000 concurrent users, we may have to scale these servers up. We may have to have, Web 3, Web 4, Web 5. And now that we have this kind of infrastructure in place, we're able to do that. We're able to grow. This is the same kind of approach that we're using for FTL as well. Not quite an HTTP load balancer, but we still have multiple edge servers in place. And then as viewers come to the platform, we can scale up a little bit and hopefully distribute them amongst the nodes. And then along with that change that we made last night, or this morning, I guess, we now can do releases to production without any downtime. Now, there's some discernible downtime if you're using like our WebSocket API. I think it'll definitely disconnect you, but for users who are using it, it's not noticeable. All right, the next thing here I really wanted to call out, Mytho has been doing some awesome work getting our API actually understood and documented. And so I want to show you this now. This is actually really good documentation on our API and how to use it. So if you're not using it yet, there's definitely a good way to get started. It walks you through not only setting up an application, but also getting an access token, using it, what you need to send to what URLs, what you should be getting back, what kind of scopes you need to use, and then provides examples and even common errors for what happens, whenever you do this and what does it mean. And then once you're authenticated, it actually shows you how to make GraphQL requests, what the response looks like, and how to keep testing it and building it. So it's super awesome stuff. I can't wait to actually link it on the dev page too, so people can use it from the website. So that's awesome. All right, and then Paco, you gonna cover the last one here?
That
may have been Molten. That may have been Llama.
Yeah, Llama would actually be better to speak on that if he is around and willing.
Sorry, guys, I'm here. Yeah, so we just finished the documentation for the community team to use our Glimcare system, which is what we use to process our emails and manage our knowledge. So we're doing some training sessions and ready to take over from next week.
Yep, and this is Glimcare, right? This is what users see anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ooh, look at that. Already included. Damn. All right, sorry. Let's see if I can talk.
Now you can develop stuff, clone.
Yay. This is at 71 viewers? 75, damn.
I got 75.
Let's see how many we have connected to the Januses. Oh my god. These numbers don't make sense at all. We're streaming 124 plus 113 plus 71. We're doing 308 megabytes a second across the Edge servers, but it's only telling me that there's 14 plus 12 plus 9, 35 viewers. Get out of here.
That doesn't feel right.
No, there's some work. There's some work there. All right, and then I said Hewa correctly. Thun. All right, any other wins that I missed? Any wins we wanted to add? Oh, actually, I have a couple that I forgot to add here. Let's see here. We also have a couple of new emotes on the Discord server. The design channel has been out of control with not only new emotes, but new layouts for the website, new designs for different pages. They're even working on kind of documenting what our homepage is going to look like, or at least designing what our homepage is going to look like. Gosh, I don't like dark mode. What am I looking at? Okay.
The future.
You can see an example of that here. People are like really going through and designing what the homepage can look like, where things go. Having conversations about folding tech and where folds should be on the page. So it's super awesome stuff, and hopefully we'll get this implemented soon. Yeah, I don't like dark mode. Not enough fan.
He doesn't respect his retinas.
I use.
Yeah, we got a Christoph flash.
That was great.
So I use Flux at
Yeah,
3400.
flush your eyes.
I use Flux. I basically use Flux on full yellow. So I don't use dark mode because I use yellow mode. Yellow mode, yeah. All my
Cowardice activated.
green mode. All right, any other? Oh, I have another one. Sorry, let me find it. We also have a new poll live on our Twitter account. So if anyone hasn't seen it yet, this is a must vote situation. If you're not voting on it, you'll regret it. So we have Glimesh, which is our 24/7 movie stream, and we have 4 potential avatars that are in the running for the avatar for Glimesh. And so it's time to vote. Here are the options. We have Action, that's number 1. Little Gene is number 2. Disappearing Act is number 3 because the popcorn's hidden inside the belly. And then 4 is Burgers at the Movies, ? If anyone thinks these descriptions are funny, it's because I made them up. So you can send your thanks over here. No, don't vote here. Go to Twitter. Go over here. Glimesh has no voting function.
And your vote to support it.
All right. And then I think it's Carmi's birthday, or it was a couple of days ago. So happy birthday, Carmi.
Birthday. I've got a win. The GCT dashboard is live on the dev site, and we have the entire GCT with their accounts enabled for it, and we've been on there poking it and seeing if anything breaks and getting to know it better.
Yeah, definitely. I've actually been using the GCT dashboard on the main site too. Works really well.
Oh, nice.
All right. Any other wins?
KJ Bot can send stuff now.
That's awesome. Look at that.
Yeah.
Our first ever, well, to my knowledge, responsive bot. I thought we had a custom scroll bar. What the
Yes,
fuck?
listen to me.
We did.
What the hell happened to it?
You decorked it.
Oh, oops.
You pop the cork.
That's funny, actually. I didn't know I did that. We definitely had custom scroll bars. That sucks.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna keep moving. So the next part is challenges. So we have a new challenge actually. We'll talk about that in a second. As always, we've got a couple of challenges going on. The first one is we want to make sure that we can support more countries at launch. So right now we're really only like 100% confirmed to support U.S. payouts, so United States payouts. But our goal at Glimesh is always to make sure that we're available to everyone, to anyone in the world. And the blocker there is learning how each country handles its own taxes, and then what our obligations are for not only those taxes, but also, how we file, how we deal with all that stuff. We did learn that our payment provider Stripe provides a lot of that functionality for free, kind of built in, but we still have to do some code and implementation to make sure that we can actually support more countries on launch. So we're definitely targeting hopefully UK and Canada also. But from what we're learning with Stripe right now is it looks like we're ready to go for almost all of the countries. We just have to add a little bit of extra code to handle it. So no promises yet, but it is looking good from our perspective. And then the next one is, of course, music copyright licensing. This is probably the second most common question we get right after does Glimesh have a chatbot? And I think it's because people just love music. They want music. They want to express themselves with music. And, with Twitch learning very hard recently how it can, violating the law is a bad idea. It's getting very difficult for streamers to be able to represent themselves like that. And so what we want to do is, inform you that no, you cannot stream music on Glimesh that you do not own the rights to. But then B, we want to say, but wait, here's 100 different sources of really great music that you do have the rights to and you can stream on your stream, and make it super easy and super awesome to be able to get that music in their hands, and do it in a way that's fair to the rights holders and it's fair to the streamer. So that's how we're working on it. We're trying to form our own resources. Called music. We do encourage anyone who wants to start a 24/7 music stream. Just hit me up, because I definitely want to encourage that. Of course, it would have to be, we'd have to own the rights, but I would love to have a 24/7 music stream that you can literally just tune into anytime you want. Steve, now this would be a collection of resources. We're not going to make a music client. That's a ridiculous distraction. All right, and then the next item, we're learning live and frequently. But I want to call it out because it has the potential to cause us a little bit of pain if we're not nimble in our response. But we've been talking with OBS for a little while around support for the FTL protocol. As many of you know, the FTL protocol was first started by Mixer, or Beam back in the day, and OBS implemented FTL after a certain amount of time, and then you were able to stream natively with OBS, no problem. Of course, that means that you also get that same benefit with Streamlabs OBS and any other OBS variants, just because it's natively supported in OBS. Well, since Mixer, left us so passionately, there's really not any streaming services who use FTL. There's maybe one other currently live site that uses FTL, and then of course there's Glimesh as the next streaming site. And so of course the OBS team, as any good software stewards, they want to clean up house. They want to make sure that they're not leaving things hanging around forever that aren't being used. And FTL to them is one of those things. It's one of the things that is maybe on the chopping block because there's better technology or different options that we could use. Now for us, we've invested heavily in FTL because we believe that it's currently the only technology that is actually focused on low latency real-time streams, which is what we are absolutely passionate about. Every other protocol out there is getting really close, but it's not a stated mission objective for them to be able to get the best possible latency in the industry. We want it to be as quick as you can possibly send bytes out of your computer. We want other people to be able to receive them and have real-time interactions. And so I guess my point there, kind of coming full circle here, is that OBS is wanting to clean up shop, and they did announce recently, or at least they're still considering it, but they're being kind of firm about it, that they are planning on deprecating FTL from OBS. So they're planning on removing FTL entirely from OBS. Now the timeline on that looks to be a deprecation, which we'll talk about what that means in a second, on February 1st, which is 3 days from now, and then removing support completely from OBS on January 1st, 2022. Now, what they mean by deprecation, they mean that they're going to stop accepting new FTL services. So if we wanted Glimesh to be on the services list whenever you click OBS and go to your stream settings, if we want it to be on that list, we will have to make sure we contact OBS and get our site in there before February 1st, or they will no longer accept Glimesh, and we'd have to do something else in order for you to stream. Now, there are tons of options. We can distribute software to you that lets you customize a service list. We can, provide, ways for you to edit the file yourself. We could even, talk to Streamlabs and see if they'll be willing to support it in their fork. But what we want to make sure we do is just try and be friendly to everyone. We want to help the OBS team figure out the right solution here, and we want to use the right technology ourselves. But there's a lot to figure out there, and we have a lot invested in FTL, so it's really not. We won't be able to switch over to anything else immediately. We're gonna have to at least commit to FTL through launch, and then we can look into other options. So that is a challenge for us, because this is it feels like it's the worst possible time to be having this conversation, because it feels like we're so close to launch. And it also puts a little bit of urgency on us to be able to get support from OBS, just because it's such a large component. We did a poll, and it was something like 99% of streamers who follow Glimesh use either OBS or Slobs or some alternative. So we've got some research to do there. This information's coming out very recently. There's a lot more research, a lot more understanding, a lot more conversations to have. But that's a new challenge for us. Does anyone have any questions specific to that, or anything to add on specific to that? All right. Cool. And then the next one is kind of a new pane as well, but this one is a little bit easier to support. There's it's not new. There's a really old payment security methodology called 3D Secure that, of course, every civilized country in the entire world uses except for the United States. And apparently the European Union had a new directive that went into place to get 3D Secure implemented for more vendors. So basically what this means for us is we have to go back and change some of our payment code to be able to support 3D Secure, and then we'll be good to go for this challenge. But this is more code that we have to write. Yeah, we're not okay with that. Real time. All right, any other challenges to add? Any new challenges that we need to talk about? All right. I don't know what that means. Okay, so then the roadmap update, not much has changed on the macro from last time, so this slide is still the same. We're still working on payment controls. We're still working on stream stability mitigations, and this is kind of what Hayden was talking about. It's preventing stream stability issues before we have them. And then on the payment side, that's been kind of just put on back burner to remove or to move our infrastructure around and get that stuff going. So that's what I've been focused on. We did one other thing though. We actually created a non-technical to-do list, which is kind of anything that's not on this list, but we still have to get done before launch. We put that in a list, and we now have people dedicated to those tasks. So wrapping things up for sure. I need to remove that. That's a bug. All right. That's it. Does anyone have anything to add on to this conversation? Anything that we talked about?
Yeah, I feel like you covered it.
All right. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and end the recording, but we'll stick around in the stream for a good long while and answer any kind of questions you have, anything we can help you with. We're here. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. Thank you everyone for attending tonight. It was a really fun meeting. We host these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.